Live. Welcome to the third guitar collection live stream. I would love it if someone lets me know as soon as possible how my audio sounds, because I believe I fixed the issues from the previous two streams, which were quite terrible listening back. Last one was better, but there was this doubling issue where it sounded like there was an echo or like I was far away. And I had two mics running and I didn't realize it. I guess it was like my laptop mic as well as my main microphone. So it was getting this doubling. I'm going to listen back just for a quick second here to make sure that I sound good before everyone joins in here. So those of you that are watching back and watching me just mess around with tech here, sorry about that. But I'm going to confirm in about 5 seconds that it's good before I continue. Make sure that I sound good. Awesome. This is promising and it's sounding very nice. So, okay, well, so far there is just one person that has joined, but I figured I would start this off by telling you what guitars we're going to go through today. You can see them kind of at the corners of the screen, and it's also in the video description. The sound is good. Also, thank you, Kanaka. Awesome, yes. The sound should be stellar this time. And I should move the mics to the proper position. Sorry for any sound here. The guitars that we are going to go through today, we're actually going to go in order of oldest to newest. And I have two brand new arrivals that one of them I just put new bass strings on a Hauser, believe it or not. So we're going to get to some really cool instruments today. The first one of which is what I'm holding right now. We're starting with 1968 and we're going all the way to 2024 with 4 guitars here. So if you haven't checked the description, I'll let that be more of an exciting reveal, or maybe you can spot what's in the background here. We're not getting to that electric guitar over there, so no worries. Cool, all right, 4 people viewing now. The audio should be much better this time. Hopefully the video stays stable. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. We'll be doing these every week, if not more. Actually, the setup I have now, it's incredibly easy to do these streams. So I'm looking forward to doing more of these. I also want to mention, if you have questions, I'm going to remind you a few times throughout the stream, please leave them in the comments, because I will talk about whatever you might like here, you know, comparison between instruments, strings, all the nerdy guitar stuff. That's what we're here for. So, great. Well, I'm going to have to make sure a couple of these are tuned up. This one I was just tuning. This is a 1968 Daniel Friederich Recital model guitar. And I have to tell you, this guitar is unique in that these Recital models were lighter weight. And I really like that feeling of a lightweight guitar. I mean, don't get me wrong. Sometimes the heavy ones are nice too, with the lattice bracing or maybe doubled sides. So, of course, Daniel Friederich, famous for doubling his sides. Of course, not lattice bracing. But his guitars in general got heavier as he went on. And this guitar is incredibly lightweight. And because it's lightweight and the sides aren't doubled and so on, you feel the vibration so strongly when you play this thing. You feel very connected to it, if that makes sense. It's really nice. And also, you know, I haven't played enough of these Recital models to be able to really tell you, but these have a thinner neck from what I've heard. This one definitely has a thinner neck than several of the other Friedrichs that I have, which is really nice. It's very, very, very comfortable to play. So that's something I've really been appreciating about this guitar. You know, sometimes I have to admit, with older guitars, there's some things about them that make it a little bit harder to play sometimes. It doesn't always have to do with the neck. It has to do with the evenness of the sound. Maybe sometimes first position sounds great, but when you come to fifth position, then it can weaken or certainly even have dead notes. But man, this guitar you can even be sensitive with pieces that really require lots of sustain and evenness. Like That F sharp is great. Nice, right? This thing is really beautiful. So yeah, if you're here, let me know. Say hello. Leave a comment. This again is a Daniel Friederich guitar from 1968, and may look like a cedar top. Of course, Friederich built a lot of cedar top guitars, but at this time, none, from what I understand. I haven't seen one from this early. That's cedar. Although it looks it, because this spruce is very, it's had a lot of UV in it over time. And it's darkened up, and it's such a nice look to it. It's this orangish color. I love that. I'm a sucker for that. By the way, if you have suggestions for pieces that you would like me to play or hear on this guitar, you can always let me know. I can see what I can do. Okay. So I'll play a little Capriccio Rave on this 1968 Friedrich. Yeah, so nice and easy to make music on this guitar. And like I was saying, it's so resonant feeling. Sorry, there's a water pipe running in the other apartment here, so you can hear that a little bit, but that'll go away. Yeah, it's such a nice resonant guitar. Wow, this guitar is actually even better than I remember. Sometimes you put new strings on a guitar and you kind of rush to make a video on it because you've been meaning to do it, and then sometimes you don't give it time to adjust to the strings. And now that these have worn in, it's sounding really nice. Oh yeah, Kanaka. Sorry if I'm saying your name wrong. It is 650 scale. Yes. Don't know of any shorter scale Friedrichs. I don't know if I've seen that, but you know what? This is the type of thing that we do here. I'm looking for my tape measure. I'll double check that it's 650. I am almost 100% sure. Well, Can't find my normal millimeter roller here, but this one will do, as it has millimeters on it. 650 scale. That is correct. 650 on the dot. Yep. Yep, 1968. Oh, I love that sound. Wow. Okay. Well, if you have questions, please let me know. I'm going to set this one down, and we're going to go next up in the date range here, which next up is a new arrival, a 1979 Thomas Humphrey guitar. Check it out. Oh, I didn't even show the back of this Friederich, but it is Indian rosewood. Okay, so check out this pre-millennium Thomas Humphrey guitar with not a single crack in the top from 1979. Now, for those of you that don't know who Thomas Humphrey is, he was a maker that almost all the famous artists were playing at some point in the late 80s and 90s, early 2000s even. The Sod Brothers, Sharon Isbins, the Holzmans, Elliot Fisk, the list goes on and on and on. There's so many people that played these. They were super playable instruments. And he's most known for his Millennium design, which was the super raised fingerboard. I mean, it's this design where the body tapered to where it got thinner here and the fingerboard is raised off, which you see on so many guitars now. This is a trend that really stuck because it's much easier to play. But this guitar was pre-millennium, which has a special cult-like following to them. These pre-millennium Thomas Humphrey guitars, they definitely have a different sound. The Millennium, it wasn't only a different design as far as playability, but it changed the sound of the guitar. And it's a really special one. It's very, very warm, and there's no hint of mid-range to sound. Also, there's no lattice bracing going on in this guitar. And I apologize, I have to tune it up. By the way, this has old strings on it, so not my same preference of strings like is on the Friederich, for instance. I've not made a video recently on this one, so this one, I say recently as I had this guitar 2 years ago, but I can't post the video that I made on that one because it just wasn't a good video. It was like a very campy backyard looking video. It's a really sweet sound. The depth of the sixth string made me think I was in drop D, so I started to make a D major chord. Listen to this. How about that? I love the colors on this thing. So I go like this. But then the second time, right? It's like effortless color changes here. In fact, I bet I can do it from just changing the angle of my attack. Like if I went warm. I bet I can just go. Yeah, see, I went straight to bright there. How about that? pretty old strings on it. Pretty darn cool. This is sounding really nice. You know, you can always tell, by the way, if you change the strings or someone else, because everyone's way of wrapping strings is a little bit different. So I checked, I was like, yeah, these aren't new strings, right? I'm like, okay, that's not how I wrap them. I just got this one in, for those of you that are just tuning in. By the way, for those of you that are just joining, feel free to ask some questions, say hello. I could cover whatever guitars or topics you'd like. And yeah. This is a Thomas Humphrey 1979 Pre-Millenium. This is not on the website yet, as well as the next guitar that I'm going to show you, which is a Hauser III from 1989. It's really, really great. I just put strings on it, so you're going to have the same experience getting to know the guitar as I will here. So let's see, something else to play on this Humphrey. How about this? Sei a Preguntar by Hermann Rice here. How about that? I really like how you can stomp on this guitar with your thumb. You know, it's like you can do this. It sounds really great, and then I can do this. Hopefully that didn't peak the microphone. I forget about that sometimes. It did a little bit. Sorry about that. I should play a little bit more gently, but yes, it's... Wow. Okay, well that is this Thomas Humphrey Pre-Millenium 1979 guitar. Let me show you the rosette up close because, gosh, these rosettes are something I really adore of his. They're really beautiful. Look at that. There's so much color in it, and you may not be able to see unless it's in really natural light here. But check this out. The back. Look at this Brazilian rosewood. And it has a couple of repaired cracks, by the way. Oh, look. There's the stream. Okay, let's see if I can get in the right light here. Yeah, let's get my face out of the shot. How about that? I love these. I mean, this almost looks unnatural. The Brazilian rosewood at the very sides here. You see that? It's pretty cool. It's pretty beautiful here. Hi, nice guitar. Good to see you. Well, thanks for joining in. 9 people watching concurrently right now for our third stream. And hey, please tell me, those of you that are watching, is the audio pristine? Like no issues, no doubling, no weird buzzing in the background or something like that? I did several test streams and I listened back to this one once it started. So unless something weird happened, it should be good. Okay, so this was a Thomas Humphrey 1979 that I just got in. No video of this one yet, but maybe I'll make one just after finishing this stream because I'm inspired playing this thing. I just went through this 1979 Daniel Friederich, and how interesting is that these are both Spruce top guitars, but this Friederich looks like a cedar because it's so much darker. Of course, it's had age as well. It's a quick math here. This is 79, that one's 68. Yeah, more than 10 years older. Sounds great, awesome, glad to hear. Okay, so next up, I've got a real treat for you guys. Now, I'm waiting for a time here when there's many people watching here. This is going to be my first time playing this Hauser III guitar. This Hauser III is from 1989, and it has this beautiful Brazilian rosewood back. Look at this. Some old Brazilian there. And there is not a scratch, ding, or crack on this thing. It looks like it was finished polishing yesterday. So the only thing I noticed is that the frets have some like rust or something going on here, so I have to clean that. But it is spectacular. And look at the work on the headstock. I'm going to bring this up close. I know you want to hear it, but sorry, it's focusing on my face. And then the back of the neck, all the beautiful detail. It's so nice. But by the way, before someone asks, especially watching back, you can see it has these like beads here. These are meant to, you don't have to tie the strings on the tie block. I don't like those. I don't like the aesthetic look either, but I just haven't had time to change the trebles, and I'm going to get rid of these on the guitar after I change the trebles. But I had to change the basses because they were ancient. They felt like they were from 1989. So this is my first time tuning this up. I just changed the strings right before the stream. So I'm pulling up a tuner to see where 440 is, and we will hear this Hauser III for the first time. Now, unfortunately, the trebles are very scratched up, so I need to change these. Clarity is there. Yeah, it's going out of tune. Don't you just love watching me tune? I'm joking. Yeah, this has that great 6-string too. Sorry if I'm peeking the microphones here. You know what I really like about this? The neck is super, super thin. You know what? One of my favorite necks is on my Stephen Walter guitar, which it's not around right now. It's in a case. Because I was getting ready for the stream, didn't want to knock all my guitars into each other. But the neck is almost just like that. This is a perfect neck to me. It's like 20 millimeters, maybe 20.5 thickness at the first. And that's my preference. It's so nice. C-shaped. Let's play something for real. Let's see. This thing needs new trebles for sure. These are really old, and these basses need to settle in, but this thing is really nice. Listen to that. How about some La Row? For those of you just joining, this is my first time tuning up this Hauser III. These beads at the bottom, I will be removing. I just had time to change the basses. They were ancient, just like the trebles, but you can tolerate old trebles. You can't tolerate old basses. Yeah, right? Nice guitar, thanks. He said this Hauser is pure magic. Yeah. You know what? It's always crazy. It feels great behind the guitar, but listening back, if you guys go back and listen to the 1962 Hauser, the Hauser II from 1962, that video, I saw several comments where people said that they think that's the best sound that I've gotten on a video, or on a guitar, I should say. And I certainly felt that great behind that guitar when I was making the video. But now that I've done so many videos, I go back and I listen to that and I think, gosh, that might be my best sound. And it makes me go like, should I be selling that one? I don't know. But it's really great. And I'm getting similar feelings from this one. There's like some sort of depth to these trebles, even though it has all this brightness. I mean, they're very bright and clear, these guitars. But you can manipulate the darkness out of it. Like, you know, it's a really pleasing feeling when you underpower a note, right? So I really want to make the D heard, the last D here, right on the first string, but I'm going to underpower it. And it still develops enough to where it sounds nice. I'm actually having to be really careful hitting the right spot because the first string's so scratchy and old, but let me play something else. Let me make sure I'm in tune so I don't sound like trash. And if you have any questions, if you have any thoughts, please leave them in the comments because there's only one guitar left of this stream. Wow. Yeah, you said yes, very beautiful trebles. Yeah, you know what's so funny? And you know what, tell me if you all feel the same with your guitars, but these trebles are ancient, right? They are not at their best, and this guitar is still sounding great. But there is some sort of interesting, nice charm to old trebles that have really been on a guitar a long time. It feels like everyone's comfortable, like the whole guitar feels like, okay, you belong here. You know what I mean? It's this kind of feeling sometimes. So sometimes I get a new guitar in, and the basses are terrible and smell weird, and there's all sorts of discoloration. I'm like, wow, I gotta change that immediately. And then the trebles typically are really scratched up and old. And then I play the guitar for a minute, and I'm like, wow, this thing sounds great. I can't wait to put new strings on this guitar and see how it sounds. And then I put new strings on the guitar, and I'm really disappointed. And that's because it takes so long for me to feel like the trebles really end up sounding like they belong on the guitar. Gosh, I mean, sometimes it's 4 days, 3 or 4 days. And the bass is sometimes the same way. In fact, I just got a guitar and it's not going to be in this video, but I changed the basses and I was very disappointed. It just sounded like too tight. I was kept on changing the strings out. And now it's like 4 or 5 days in. I haven't played the guitar that much, but yeah, now they sound settled and nice again. Now these basses are so brand new that I literally started the stream 1 minute late because I was putting on the last bass string. It's sounding great. Nice guitar says, I'd never sell this guitar if it was mine. It's so good. Yeah. By the way, this one is on consignment, so I'm selling this for a client. So the situation's a little reversed here because if I want this guitar, I would have to pay for it. I can't just keep it. I suppose I could run away and fly to another country with it. No. Well, pardon me, I'm spending so much time playing this. For those of you that are just joining, this is a Hauser III from 1989. And I just got this in yesterday or the day before. I just put new basses on this guitar. And this one from 89 has a Brazilian rosewood back and sides. You can see, sorry, it's a little bit of glare. But check out this Brazilian. And it has no cracks, no dings, and dare I say, no scratches. When I say no scratches, you know what I mean. There's nothing that like goes through the polish. And actually, oh my gosh, if you could see, I mean, you'll see in the full review video of this guitar, which, you know, I don't have it on the website or anywhere. But there's not even nail marks under this guitar. So I have to be really careful not to put anything on this guitar. I mean, sometimes I get guitars brand new in the mail that have more nail marks than this guitar. And that's because like the luthier showed it at a festival or, you know, they had some guitarists come over to try it before selling it to me. So yeah, this thing is brand new from 1989. Yeah, wow, this is cool. Oh my gosh. Okay, I'm going to put this down because I have to end this stream. Not now. I have one more guitar. And this is one that appeared in the last stream. The reason I'm bringing it back out is because the audio was so messed up in the last one. I was sad that really listening back, there's not too much you could have told about the guitars in the last stream. So hopefully you guys are enjoying better sound quality here. I felt so dumb after the last stream listening back. I even said, wow, the sound quality I know is really good right now. And you guys are probably sitting behind your computers or phones thinking, it doesn't sound that good, buddy. Because listening back, there was this doubling issue. Like the audio sounded doubled like a half second later. Please tell me that's not the issue right now. So many of you have already reassured me that the sound is good, so hopefully that's true. But I have trust issues from last time because someone said the sound was good and it wasn't. Run away, nice guitar says, yeah, it's funny. Okay, what I'm holding now is a guitar fast forward 35 years later. This is from 2023, end of 2023. This is a Stephan Connor Doubletop. Not on the site yet. No review video of it, although it appears in the interview that I did of Steve Connor on my Evan Tauscher channel, not on Guitar Collection. But though future interviews I think will be on Guitar Collection. This guitar is fascinating. I'm not going to go too much into it because I did talk last stream, and if those of you here are repeats from last stream, then you'll hear me. Oh, good, this time no delay. Great. Yeah, those of you from last stream, you know, heard me say some of these things, but there's no delay and stuff this time. Okay, this is a Steve Connor Doubletop, cedar Doubletop, right? And it has a removable wooden Tornavoz in it. Now, this Tornavoz here is something that you would see on older guitars. Francisco Simplicio made Tornavozes out of wood. Hauser and Torres made these metal or brass Tornavozes, and they're meant to lower the main air resonance of the guitar. It is significant when it is this deep. Now, you'll see some luthiers these days, like Dennis Toltz, Aaron Ringo I saw was doing things like this, making smaller Tornavozes. Dennis, this is called the Wave Guide. It's special for his guitars, but they only lower it a little bit. This one lowers it a lot, but you know what's awesome? If you get tired of that sound, you remove it. You just take the Tornavoz out. And in fact, when I visited Steve to pick up this guitar, he even said that he preferred this guitar with the Tornavoz out. And here I am actually preferring it with it in. So it's kind of fun. Sometimes I get bored, I loosen the strings and I take the Tornavoz out, and it's a new sound, which is really, really fun. Now, Stephan Connor, for those of you that don't know, he is a very famous luthier. If you go to his website, you will see his list of artists. It's insane. I mean, you've got the Assad brothers, like, by the way, who used to play Thomas Humphrey guitars. They almost are always playing on Stephan Connor guitars for many, many years. You have Marco Tamayo, Annabelle Montesinos, my former professor Adam Holzman and Bruce Holzman used to play Stephan Connor's guitars all the time. And the list goes on and on. Tons of young players too, by the way, which is a really cool thing. He works with a lot of young players. And typically, I mean, most of the guitars that you'll see from his, of the past 20 years, are going to be lattice brace guitars, all wood lattice brace guitars. And a lot of the new ones are too. In fact, in his shop, there were some lattice brace guitars there that I thought really competed well with this Doubletop. But Doubletop is what he's been experimenting with lately, and I wanted to try that. And check this out. The back on this guitar is Madagascar rosewood, and it's got this reddish hue to it. And those of you that are familiar with Stephan Connor's guitar know that he names them, and this one's name is Petra, like the ancient city of Petra. Anyways, this guitar, there's so many little bells and whistles on this guitar, and I'm remembering I said some of this last time, so I'm sorry about this. But there's 11 of you here, so hello. Say hello if you're watching now, and I'd love to hear from you if you have any questions. Another feature of this guitar is that it has this giant sound port. Now, it has this magnetic cover where you could either completely cover it, or you could open up halfway or a quarter of the way or 3/4, anything that you want. You can even like rest it to places like completely open, although I don't like the feeling that this might fall, so I just put it back over. What is very fascinating about this guitar is, first off, the sound that comes from, sorry, I'm going to tune the guitar as I talk, but the sound that you're capable of getting with this Tornavoz, plus the sound port being closed. Now, if I open the sound port, the main air resonance changes by a lot. If any of you saw the advertisement for this stream on Instagram, you'll see I was demonstrating that, and I don't know if you could really hear it because of the delay. But listen to this. With the sound port closed and the Tornavoz in, the main air resonance is so low. If you can hear this, and then I open the port, closed, open. There's such a difference, right? And now if I halfway shut it, it's in between, right? So I'm not going to say anything in between, but you'll see me move it. I'm going to do shut, halfway, and then completely open. So. It's like I'm making a major scale. So it's really a cool thing to mess around with on this guitar. And when it is completely shut and in drop D, and you got the Tornavoz in, it is this deep sound that is so cool. Listen to this. Isn't that amazing? I mean, if I play something like this. this guitar is just so much fun to play. What do you guys think? Does it sound good over there? And this is with the sound port closed, and to be honest, most of the time I find this too dark for normal playing. Most pieces, it's too dark. Capriccio Arabe is this sultry, sort of silky sound to it, so I don't mind it being completely closed and that deep and dark. But sometimes I feel it mutes the brightness of the trebles, the Tornavoz plus the closeness of the port. But now if I have the port completely open, to be honest with you, it's more of my typical favorite sound of this guitar. It's still deep, but it's not hushing the brightness of the trebles. One of those chords I can't stop playing on this guitar. Well, I'll do the typical Prelude 11 by Targa. Gosh. So this guitar I have not listed for sale yet. If you're interested in it, you can write to me. I've got to make a review video on this guitar. That's the thing. And the reason I haven't yet, by the way, I've been excited to. The reason I haven't made a review video on this is because there's so many darn options on this guitar. Like, I want to show off all of them and make it apparent to the listener. And I don't really know if I'm going to be able to. Like, for instance, if you guys could tell the difference between the port open and closed, or if this is more, like you can see on the Douglas Scott video that I made recently of this 635 scale one, I did this port open versus closed thing, but on this guitar it makes much more of a difference because the port is bigger and there's this Tornavoz. So I want to show the Tornavoz in, the Tornavoz out. And the last part that I didn't mention here is the saddle of this guitar, Steve Connor made from desert ironwood. I believe that's right. I want to say he said Sonoran desert ironwood. But do you see that? It's a wooden saddle, a very hard wood, he said. And for a little while, I thought it was kind of strange. And I was like, well, I don't really know what that is adding to the sound. So let me just put the bone nut in, which I have here, the one that he made for this guitar. I don't know where it's over there. I'm not going to grab for it. But yeah, so for a little while, I was like, oh no, let's just put in what's normal so I know how that sounds. And then once I got to know the guitar, I switched out with this saddle, and I'm like, oh my gosh, this saddle makes not only a huge difference, which blows my mind if that makes even that big of a difference. Of course, this is where all the sound is transmitted into the bridge. So the saddle matters a lot. But it made a big difference, and it made the guitar sound warmer. And that's really the sound that I love about this guitar. It is just so stormy. Yeah, Kanaka says, the volume across the string seems to be very balanced. Yeah. And it's very easy to control. You know, I think about passages like this. Oh, sorry. Yeah, it's so easy to get this first string to pop out. Yeah, it's really exciting, honestly. Listen to this. By the way, you know, a very interesting thing that happened when I visited Steve Connor's workshop was that he had lots of guitars finished. I just happened to come at a time where he had a bunch finished. And there was one particular guitar that I guess maybe I won't say, but he made a pair of them for a very famous artist. And they hadn't come to pick it up yet because they were waiting to come through on their tour. And one was lattice brace and one was double top. And I said, Steve, don't tell me which one is double top. I want to see if I can guess. And I thought I could. But to be honest with you, I've been doing this long enough, comparing different guitars, trying different guitars, to know that you cannot, almost no one, if you're not informed of already knowing what that maker's double top sound like or that maker's lattice brace guitar sound like, you cannot always guess if a guitar is double top or not from the sound. So those that say things like double top sound, I don't trust them. There is no such thing. There are double tops in here that sound like traditional guitars and double tops that I've owned in the past that sound wild and so obviously double toppy. There's not a certain guitars you can totally tell that it's a double top from playing it, but that is not the case always. And I knew going into that experiment that I wasn't going to be 100% accurate with that. But in fact, I guessed it wrong. There was a lattice brace guitar, and I guessed that one was the double top, and the double top, I guess, was lattice brace. So there you go. There's so much that goes into it. It doesn't need to be distilled down to double top. And on top of that, I talked about this in a recent video that I haven't published yet, but on top of that, there's so many differences in the world of double tops. There are guitars that are light as a feather, and the double tops are extremely, extremely, extremely thin. And there's double tops that are more heavily braced with sides that are doubled and backs that are doubled, and lots of excess material, basically. And balsa versus Nomex versus like someone like Blackwell's doing half and half. I mean, there's so many different things, and the construction style differs so much. Just like traditional guitars differ a lot. Lattice brace, you've got the Smallman style, you've got the all wood lattice brace. There's lots of different changes that can be made to make a guitar sound totally different. So yeah, this is a guitar that really I don't detect the bracing. Someone in a previous stream, or maybe as a video, when I was talking about this guitar, said, hey, by the way, if you look inside, Steve Connor's double tops actually have a lattice bracing. And I looked inside, I was like, oh, you know what? I don't think I remember that. I thought it was fan brace. And I looked inside, it is fan brace. So he experiments too. There are double tops that he's made with a lattice bracing and double tops that he's made with fan bracing. But enough nerdy stuff. I see there's 16 people watching. Am I boring you guys? Is this enjoyable? Is there something you would like to see differently, or guitars or types of demonstrations you would like to see more? Because I will learn and I will do more of these streams. Definitely tune in at 11 a.m. Central Time on Tuesdays. I'll probably wrap this one up now. Okay, I'll set this guitar down. And since Nice Guitar here commented an encore for the Hauser, please, just another quick strum. You got it. Good request. And I want to pick that guitar up again too, because I'm just getting to know it. And for the people that are watching here that haven't been here for the whole stream, this Hauser III, during the stream, I played for the first time after putting on new bass strings. I just got this guitar in yesterday, the day before, and the basses were horrendous, and the trebles are too. But I haven't had a chance to change the strings, and that's why you've seen the. What do you call these? Beads at the bottom that some people use that I will be removing. You guys know what happens here. You have string vibrating against the top. So I have to make sure that it's not touching the top. Otherwise, I'm going to play some notes and it's going to rattle. There we go. Problem solved. So I just have to tune again because the basses I finished stringing literally right as I was hitting go live. This Hauser III, I'll stop talking in a second, but this Hauser III is from 1989. It's number 237, and there is not a scratch, a crack, a ding on this thing. Look at this. Brazilian rosewood back and sides. Very thin C-shaped neck, the perfect neck. in my opinion. And Landstorfer original tuners here. This one will be on the site in a couple of weeks. If you happen to be interested in it, you're watching the stream now or afterwards, write to me, because I don't think that this one will last long, to be honest. I mean, it won't be for sale for very long. I suppose we'll end it there. If you want to look back through the video, you'll also see timestamped after the video. We'll get that done. But I also went through this Thomas Humphrey guitar and this Daniel Friederich guitar, as well as a Steve Connor, which is just a few moments ago. So if you missed that, I'm sorry. Thank you so much for tuning in. If for some reason you're watching this and you're not subscribed, please hit subscribe, say hello. Write to me about anything that you would like. If you have a guitar that you're looking to consign, I've also been doing that lately. And what was the last thing I was going to say? Yeah. Sign up for the list on the website and I'll let you know when new guitars become available. You're so welcome. Nice guitar. Hey, thanks everyone for watching and for your comments. And I'm glad the stream sounded better this time around. So have a good rest of your week and I will see you on Sunday. Bye-bye.